on to, where we at? Motion 9. Consideration to award a contract for the repair of the, on Pioneer Boulevard. Mr. Brown.
At the, one of the board meetings in February, board authorized staff to move forward with obtaining bids for the first pipeline break on Pioneer Boulevard, which was roughly around 20,000 square feet estimated at that time. Since that board meeting and a second line broke, which we did not have the authorization to move forward and expend money out of the district's funds. But because due to the emergency and public safety issues, staff went forward to solicit bids for both of those and combine them into one to try and reduce the amount of money that the district will be exposed to. Based on some estimates that we were given from Bowen and Collins on the cost per square foot on asphalt in the St. George area from about 6 months ago, we were using a $2.50 per square foot number, and based on the initial 20,000 square foot estimate, we were in the roughly $80,000 range, and that's what the board authorized back in October for us to move forward. Since that time, we opened bids on March 10th, received a low bid of $110,000 from Parsons and Staker Company to do the two large patches. The major changes from the early February authorization till now was the initial pipeline break on Pioneer Boulevard. The square footage increased from 20,000 square feet to 21,600 square feet. And the bid amount for a 5.5 inch thick asphalt patch is $4.05 a square foot, and not the estimated $3 a square foot for the 5 inch. And then we also had the additional 2,000 square foot patch that was not originally included. What's that? Yeah, near the Ford dealership. And the bid amount on that one was not the cheaper amount. It was $3.95 a square foot. So due to the increase in costs, which also helped drive the project costs into over $100,000 and into the prevailing wage category, all the costs came together and exceeded the $80,000 amount that the board authorized staff to move forward with. And so basically I'm asking the board to, or recommending to the board that we move forward with a notice of award and contract signing in the amount of $110,130 to the Parsons and Staker companies.
Do we know who that is? Do you know that company? Anybody done work for us before?
They've not worked for us before, but they've done a lot of work up in the southern Utah area and have good reports on them.
Somebody got right in my mess kit the other day and said we could have piggybacked the city's road repair. Is that true?
Based on, Eric, based on the current way that the board has agreed that the staff should use the NRS as far as bidding and everything. We currently don't have a policy in place to allow for emergency situations to allow staff to move forward quickly on certain projects. So we started talking today with Eric about how we can streamline that where we have public safety, public health issues, and trying to figure out a way to streamline that so that we don't have to wait so long to take care of issues such as this.
It was a time issue is the reason we couldn't do that.
Another issue, and correct me if I'm remembering it correctly, but we did consider that initially once this came to light, but by the time we had time to kind of check on it, the company was already moving their equipment off, and so
yeah, we only had like a 2-day period of
as far as
to make that decision.
we had to pay cost to remobilize the equipment back to the site and stuff, and so the piggybacking cost savings was little to no, not available at that point by the time we kind of had those discussions.
Okay.
And
Okay. Okay, thank you.
and so it was something we looked into, it just by the time we really got
But
into
we're
it,
gonna
it
change
was
that.
too late, they were already moving off the site.
So in the future, then.
Well, yeah, well, I mean, yeah, I mean, in the future with, you know, it's one of those hindsight type things, but
Yeah.
now with the delay and some of the issues they're having up there, there's a potential we could have labeled this as an emergency situation because of the health and safety issues out there that posed by the condition with the road. But in the time that is now passed, it's
Yeah.
getting that down, but even had we labeled it an emergency issue at that point,
Probably would've
they
gotten
were
back
still
to it.
mobilized, they were already taking the equipment off the site, we probably still wouldn't have been able to piggyback. We may have been able to get to the job a little quicker, but as far as piggybacking and the cost savings, I don't think that would have happened regardless of.
Thank you.
Well, there were time considerations on that bid, right? When they have to hit start, when they have to be done, what were they, do you remember?
On this particular
Yeah.
one, they've got, once we issue notice to proceed, after we get the contract signed and get their bonds in, and once we issue the notice to proceed, I think they have 10 working days to have the work completed. So, once they get going, they can get it wrapped up fairly quickly. It's just, it's taken so long to get to that point.
Is there any comments from the public? Seeing none, is there any more board comments?
I'll make a motion if everybody's
Okay.
ready for that. I'll move that we approve the work to be done on the Pioneer Road in the amount of $110,130 and award the contract to Parsons and Staker.
Okay, I have a second. Approve, all those in favor, raise the right hand. All right, that motion carries.